Okay, good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another session where we're going to be developing Pixel Painter Challenge. I know it's been a while since I've last streamed, since I've last done something. Um, there are some good reasons for it. One, it was very busy, very hectic, doing many different things. Second thing also is that I've been resetting my computer, getting, cleaning it up so I could install Linux on it as my main driver, my main OS, which is what I've done now. So now I'm actually running on Linux Mint Debian Edition. So, but all is good, all is well, and now I'm ready. Last time, in case you don't remember, which makes sense, last time we still had a lot of difficulties with actually finding a algorithm that can handle um, the actual filling of the object. As you can see, it's really slow. I don't understand why it's so slow. And second, you can see like it doesn't really feel properly. There are reasons for it. One is because, or what were the reasons for it? One is that the horizontal uh, line, the horizontal lines was problematic, and then the vertical lines was problematic because you have this point, and we actually, or how the algorithm normally works, or how this does work, is you encounter an edge, you say, okay, so if it's the first one, you basically flip a bit or you keep track of how many edges you've seen. And if it's odd, you're inside of it. If it's even, you're outside of the shape. But basically, it's the same as just keeping a boolean, like a flag. And if you would counter it one, you say like, I flip the boolean. You start, of course, with outside. So you see one, you say, we're inside. You go here, you see another point that's part of the contour of the image. So you flip it again, you say you're outside. Well, that's not really true because I mean, like, if you have a point where you immediately go in the other direction, then you shouldn't. Same with straight. I mean, like if you have straight edges, then you would be constantly flipping your bit, saying in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, which is also not true, just because you're on an edge of your shape. So those are the problems. And so I have done some research. I've done some looking up, and I found solutions. Unbelievable! I found solutions. And so this actually is a known issue. If you actually look it up, and there are courses about it. And so, what is the idea behind the fix, behind the solution? That is, okay, where is my fill? Here's my fill shape. A lot of dirty code. Fill shape. Okay. So, what is the idea of the actual solution? That is that if you counter an edge, then it's okay. You don't have to change anything about your code. But if you happen to be on a vertex, so a point, then you have to check for monoticity. That means the direction of the line and whether that one changes or not. So for instance, in the first case here, let me draw it again. So for instance, if you have a shape that goes up, you go sideways and then you go down, and you then go up, the direction here is, well, negative because you go down. You go down, so it's a negative y direction. Here it's a positive y direction. In this case, then, well, you can do two things. Either you can count it twice. You can count this point twice. So if you were inside, then you're outside and inside again. So you're inside. Whereas if you stay the same, then, for instance, I'm at this point now. If I would go up, I go up and up. Then here, because I have this and this, in this point, you actually count it only as once. So here you would be inside, here you would be outside, and here, because either you're on an edge, you're on a point, you can't just count it twice, because if you count it twice, you would be outside again, but that's not true. So in this case, you have to count it as one. That's the idea. And something similar, or I was thinking about, okay, but that doesn't really fix the whole issue that you have with the lines, because I mean, like a line is still a line. Can you count every point? You can't count every point because then depending on how many points you have, you will either be inside or outside of the shape, which doesn't make any sense. And I should really update. And after that, then you still have a problem. So, but what I came up with is that you don't just have to count the points, but what you actually have to do is, again, monoticity, but you have to look at the, for instance, if you encounter this point, you say like, it's a point, so you check the previous line, which you have to do anyway if you encounter a point. So you check at the previous line, you say this one goes up, okay, and here you say, okay, well, this is horizontal, line, so this line you basically ignore. So what do? You just jump to this point, because it's a horizontal line, it was an edge anyway, it's already colored, we don't care, we'll do that later on because we can identify all those edges. So you jump to this point, and then you check again the next line. If that happens to be another straight line for some reason, like in the same x direction for some reason, which can be if you do click here, click here, click here, you always jump. Horizontal lines, you always jump, you skip, 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 and then again you have a point where you switch in the y direction. So here this goes down. So again, monoticity, because we still have the monoticity of this one, which is up, you have then, or the direction of this one, which is up, you have the direction of this one, which is down. So the monoticity actually changes, or the direction changes. So you know, if it changes, then I don't flip it. No, then I do flip it. Wait, I'm thinking. Will it do or don't flip it? Here it changes and you don't flip it. So if it changes, you don't flip it. This changes, you don't flip it because we were outside, we're still outside. If this one would have gone up, then we flipped it, we were outside and now we're inside. So here you would flip it and then you continue. And that's the idea. Now, that's the theory. Now we have to implement it in practice. And I have no idea how this actually worked. List int line grid, no lists, grid size x. Okay, for in what is this actually doing? Current lines. For some reason, I'm actually positions, current lines. I don't know what all of this does. Okay, it's probably from a failed attempt last time. This one makes more sense. Of course, normally these algorithms, what they do is they say like, oh, you have to determine the min x and the minimum points of your shape, which does make sense. That could definitely be an improvement. I'm not sure if it's necessary, but I will see. It shouldn't be that difficult to actually calculate it, but I'm gonna do it because you also have that would be like the line, like with the scan line algorithm. But okay, so I'm just gonna go through the entire grid. Why? I mean, the grid's not that big. It's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I mean, it's 12 by 12. I doubt it's gonna make much difference if we can keep track or calculate which one is the minimum y, maximum y, but we'll see. So here, what's the algorithm do? You loop over the minimum y, which is, I assume this one's 0, well, minus something, because we start from minus. That's why it says minus grid size y, and the grid size is, I think, 6 then. Until, shouldn't this be an odd number then, because it's strictly smaller than, no, you have 0. If you go from minus 6 to 5, then you have 0 as well. So I think it should be 12. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, so here you basically loop over it. You have shape mode, false. That's actually a very, very bad name. I'm immediately going to rename this. My F2. Why does my F2 not work? No reflecting is available. Okay. Yeah, my setup is not completely ready yet. I haven't installed any C# plugins and those kind of things. Okay, so that makes kind of sense. That doesn't work. In shape. So we start off with an in shape of false. We have, I don't know why we keep track of crossed lines. You know what? I'm just gonna completely write the algorithm all over again. There are so many failed attempts here. I think this might actually have been if highlighted, fill, continue, int edges 0 for. What the hell does this one do? Edges plus. Okay. So this is what happens if you don't work on a project for a couple of weeks. You completely forget everything you were doing, and it's difficult to get back in there. So we start off with a Y. We don't say shape much, we say in shape is false. I don't care about the cross lines. I look at the grid size X, so I start from minus here. So we basically start from this point, which is weird. I think normally you would start from the top, but whatever. It doesn't really matter where you start. I don't care about the lines. I don't care whether it's, well, I do care whether it's highlighted. Okay. And then here you have the old way, if not in shape, and it's highlighted, we say shape mode equals true. Else if in shape and highlighted, we say in shape equals false. I actually think I can probably write this better. I think this one will also work. In shape equals highlighted, and then it's not in shape. I'm not sure if C# actually has this operator. But anyway, that's what I want to do. I want to say, okay, if inside the shape, if it's highlighted, then I negate the in shape. If lines, I don't know why I want to keep track of the crossed lines. That seems to be stupid. That's actually what I wrote here as well. Okay, interesting. Let's see, C#. What's it even called? That's it has a name. The coalescence, I think, coalescence operator. The coalescing operator. It seems like it does have it. Oh my god, and it even has, but it doesn't work like this. The null coalescing operator. In expressions with an open. Then this actually has to be null and not true. Well, I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense that I should do like this then. Just the Elvis, it's not the Elvis, it's a conditional, ternary conditional operator. If it's highlighted and it's not in shape, otherwise it's in shape, then this maybe even makes more sense, because here you actually avoid an assignment. If highlighted in shape, not in shape. Okay. We might want to continue already here, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, lines, cross lines counts. I don't care why I would cross this line. If lines, and this, well, technically I don't have to continue here, because then indeed I can do something like this. I say like, okay, if we're highlighted or we're in shape, then I just fill it. And then in one pass, I would also immediately fill all the edges. I don't have to do it afterwards. So this is the naive algorithm we had before, or I had as the first. The name posts on existing current contexts. I deleted my posts. Ooh, how come? Where does pos come from? Pos. I have to create a position. Where position? Can I not create a position? Because here I also use pos, but I don't see where it's being created. I use pos here. Except that, yes, layer highlight. The fill, oh yeah, the fill takes a vector 2 int, yes, because we'll automatically take the correct one. Yeah. And this is something I probably also would want to wrap. And I would say, I would typically, but as I said, this script needs to be cleaned up. I would say boolean highlighted equals is highlighted. Either this one or a vector2 int. It depends a bit, and then it will take the highlight layer and it will do it automatically for you, and then you can create a position here, and then it will, yeah, do it better, because now this is a bit stupid. But anyway, okay. If we run this, you will see that this is actually the native or the naive implementation we have of our script, our initial script, which will fail. This is perfectly normal. So if we would give it some difficult tasks, then indeed, you see, as expected, it fails. It fails on the horizontal lines, which I have a lot of. It fails on the vertical lines, which is here. So this is all normal. Oh, normal. If highlighted, in shape. So if it's highlighted, then here we actually have to do some extra logic. What do we have to do? We have to look up. I have to see what's the name was of the points. Okay. Points dot not add. Points is a list of vector3 int. Ah, so actually in this case, it actually does make sense that this actually is also a bit weird. Why is it a vector3 int? Why a vector3? Why not vector2? Probably because of laziness, but I mean, like, we're in a two grid system. Yes, I know I use the Z for the coloring. That's why I use the Z layer for, but I shouldn't keep track of the Z layer. I shouldn't care. I should care, like, where are you on X, Y, not on the Z layer. But anyway, so the points, let's see. I need to know which Z layer actually gets added here. Cell post, time up, world to cell. I think that's in the 0. That's probably why I do keep track of the 3 layer, because it's a time up world to cell that gives me a 3 int. But in my case, it actually doesn't matter. Okay, so points dot contains includes. Is it include? It's a bit annoying that I have such bad assistance. So I will have to look everything up. C# list. I assume it was a list. Yes, C# list. Properties, methods, contains. it contains like this. Okay, contains, and then the object, not pos. Although maybe wait, this is tile map. Maybe this should not be set layer. Tile map pos, but I don't see any pos here. Pos. The position here is set layer highlight. The tile map get tile. Here's also a get tile. Wait, why don't I get tile here? This is has tile. Ah, okay. So the get tile position is a valid tile position. Cell pos is world to cell. But the fact that it works. Boolean vertex. Is it a vertex? You have vertices and edges, yes. Movie makes it is actually tile map has tile z layer highlight. Unless of course my z layer highlight is 0. No, it's 1. It's above. So I don't see how a z layer highlight can actually. Aha. Of course, because the tile map is the tile on the highlighted position. So our tile map indeed does contain. Yes, our tile map is also a 3D object we can set on different x, z directions. Okay, but our points. Boolean is not correct. It's a bool. Should have known. I think our points always keep track of it in the 0 plane. So I think this will always be false. False, 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 false. See, it's always false. Surprisingly, it's actually not even that much. 41. It's 41 messages. 12 times 12. I would assume a lot more. Because only if it's highlighted, of course. Yes, of course. I only do it if the highlighted section. Yeah. So none of my highlighted things is a point, which is impossible. Pull vertex 2 equals points contains new vector points x, y, and z layer border. Is my z layer border? No, my z layer fill. My border is at a higher negative -1. Yeah. How come I can still see it? That's because the one on top is only 50% transparent. Okay. So this should hopefully work. So vertex 2 should at some point tell me it's true. Yeah. And as I said, it would be make a lot more sense to actually work with the vector2 int in this script everywhere. Because my tile map actually is positioned at, and actually it would even make more sense that I actually take my z of my tile map and I base my these 3 levels off of it, although it doesn't really matter too much. But okay. So let's see now. We do pop. What do we see? False, true, false, 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 true, false, true, false, 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 true. Yes, 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 yes. So the second one does work. So this one goes away. This one can stay. I'm above my 80 characters. Not good. And actually the contains is not sufficient enough because I need to know the previous point and I need the next point. Okay, so find index. I guess I have to do that one, find index. Although let me see, because find index takes like a predicate. Index of. Yes, index of. What does it return if it can't find it? -1. 0 base index. So this is an int index equals point index of. And I say if index is not -1, then I do something. This should all be extracted and it should be cleaned up because this is really nasty. Okay, so if my index is not -1, then check for the moneticity. So I do index -1. And I do index. So I say points dot get. I assume it's a get. Okay, so apparently it's just the index. There's no gets. Maybe there's also a gets. I don't know. Maybe there is a get. Copy to get enumerator, get hashcode, get range, get type. Can't see it, so I think it's like this. And so this is a vector 3 int actually I don't even need to get the current position because I know my current position, so I don't need this one. Then I do points. I have to be careful here for overflow. So what should I do? I should actually do int previous equals index -1. And I should say index 0, then it's points dot count minus 1, otherwise index minus 1. Int next, if index equals 0.1, then it's 0, otherwise it's index plus 1. Yes, that seems to be correct. Because I don't think I can do a next and a previous on a list. That would also be a bit weird, because starting from where? Finally, here I do previous, here I do next, and we are working in, well, this is the y direction, so we are going in x direction, so I have to check the y direction of them. Can I just get the y of a point of a vector 3 int? Yes, sol.x, sol.y, yes I can. So what do? I do my current point, my current y, minus this y, and I do my next y minus my current y. Well, first of all, I have to check for a horizontal line, I think. But doesn't matter. Okay. Int, and this is called current y direction equals int next y direction and I will log my x y I am going to make a bit of an easier shape for this one. A triangle. So what is log? Logs is minus 4 minus 1, which I assume minus 4 minus 1 will be this point. It will say 0. Why 0? Because it comes from a horizontal line and it goes to a 3. How do you deal with that case indeed? But this actually already is a case where you have a horizontal line. It doesn't matter whether the horizontal line is the next one or the previous one. Yes, so this is already a special case. Oh, that's an interesting special case. Okay, so we take the next point, which is 2 minus 1. 2 minus 1, that's this point. 2 minus 1 minus 3, because why does it say minus 3? Because the previous one was negative. And the next one is 0. Here as well, we end up with 0. So what do we do? Don't know. We have to look at the next one. Oh, that's annoying. It's actually, oh my god, the simple shape I drew was actually a pretty annoying shape. The only interesting point here is the top one, which is minus 1, 2, minus 1, 2. And there it says 3 minus 3. So, then what do? I'm going to make this an else. So I say if current y direction Oh, that's actually a very nice way of checking whether it's the same or not. Because two negative numbers multiplied will always be positive. So only if it's in two different directions, it becomes negative. Then I flip, otherwise I don't flip. So with this small change, I now should have my top point working. My bottom point will still not work, because for that I have to add some extra logic, which is going to make this nasty, but okay. Hmm. Actually, I should do the other way around, I think. What was the idea? The idea was if you go in a different direction, then you don't toggle. If you go in the same direction, then you toggle. This with the, instead of just comparing the magnitude of values, but what's my plugin was suggesting is just plain wrong. Aha. So this will already have fixed, well, I was going to say many things in the shape, as long as I don't make horizontal lines. See, as long as I don't make horizontal lines, it will fill it perfectly. Okay, now just on to actually making the horizontal lines work. How is that gonna be the case? I have to say if current y direction equals 0, get the one before that. So that's, I'm gonna split it up a bit, because in here I can say, you can more clearly see and I basically have to do the exact same thing, except I don't have to take, well, I do have to take a point, so it counts, but the index is different. But I can't change my index. So I say int previous index equals, not 0, it can be 0, previous index equals index, do while current y direction equals 0, and then I put this in here, and I say previous index equals previous index. Does this make sense? This, can I reassign previous index? I hope so. I'm not so sure. So what does it do? I first take my regular index and then I calculate my previous index on that. Here it will also be previous index. I'm gonna maybe make it short. Pref index. Pref index, otherwise should be on the index. Pref index -1. What is saying? The name current y direction does not exist. Makes sense. I will define them up here: int current y direction and int next y direction. And then I can already prepare for the next one. I definitely have to install formatter. I have to install still so many things. Okay, so I don't think there are any compile errors anymore. So I'm not sure if this was supposed to work or not. Now I'm a bit confused. Okay, let's try again. Okay, here is still one that fails. This one I think was all fine. And why is that? Because it goes here in, and here it looks at the current y direction, so it will find, I guess, up. And here the next is horizontal, so it is 0. So it's 0, so that's why it flips, which is not correct. Here as well, it says, yes. My triangle, does my triangle work now? My triangle might work because of the direction we're actually going in. Aha, no, my triangle doesn't work because this indeed, here, it comes at this point and it will probably correctly say like, aha, okay, I don't have to flip because it's in the opposite direction, so this will be negative, so I don't flip. So I just stay outside of the shape, and then it comes here, and here it says, okay, my previous one was negative, and my next one is 0, so this is negative, so I don't flip. This is negative, which is this point, minus, no, it's this point here. So first we're at this point, and this point says, what is my previous? My previous was minus 3, that's this line that it finds here. Then this one it completely ignores, and this one here, minus 3 times 3 is minus 9. Minus 9, so it's definitely not greater than equal to 0. Yes, okay, I forgot one thing. Actually, this is not what I wanted to do. Damn. I'm looking at the thingy. I said I'm supposed to skip to this line, to this point. Why? Because now it will have flipped and to say like, okay, well, it won't have flipped. It will say, okay, we're not inside of the shape. Then it goes to the next one. This one says like, okay, I'm highlighted. So I'll do the exact same thing, but it can't find, of course, a point, this point, because it's not a point, it's a thingy. So I think, I'm just an edge, so I flip. So it says, so here it was not in shape. So this one says in shape, not in shape, in shape, not in shape, in shape. And here it comes to this point and it says like, well, I don't have to flip. So it stays in shape. So this is actually not what I wanted to do. What I actually want to do is okay. So the correct thing actually is if current y direction, no, current x direction, no current y. If current y direction is null, or next y direction is null, then I say x equals math.max of x n points previous x n points. but I don't think I can do a math and then I do continue. I don't think I can. What is this here? I don't think I can do a math max of three operations. It doesn't exist in Java, so I would really be shocked if it exists in C#. Although I guess technically in Java you could implement something like this fairly easy. Math.max, let's see. Nah, see, it only takes 2 elements. Okay, so I do math max of. I actually don't even need to take my current point into consideration. Why? Because actually this is also not right, because if I have, if my, if this line, this point would have been here somehow because of some other shape, and I would check that what is the maximum max, it would jump to here, which is, well, in this case not a problem, but if it would have been bigger, then I would have jumped too far instead of here at this point. So if current y direction, that would be if my triangle would go in that direction, is equals to 0, then I jump to points next. If next y direction, then I jump, no current, then I jump to the previous. Oh, that's previous. If next, then it's next. But I also do need case in case both. Can both? Yes, both can also be the case. Did I? Oh my god! I just noticed that I wrote direction completely wrong here. I'm gonna remove this. Don't need that anymore. So I need a case where I have both. And that's the case where if you do like you have a point here and then you have point and you end up at this point, then no, actually at this point. So if you're at this point, then you say, okay, I'm going to jump to the next to this point. At this point, again, you would be like, well, I'm on a horizontal line. My previous horizontal line is 0, but also my next horizontal line is 0. Of course, you have to always jump forwards. You have to go jump to the next one. So in this case, it actually is the math.max of both of your points. So this just jump to the end of the horizontal line. That's what this part does. If monoticity has if monoticity does not change, we are no longer in the shape. If monoticity does not change, because that's what I'm checking. I'm checking for monoticity not changing, because positive times positive, negative times negative. If monoticity does not change, we are no longer in the shape. So this, I hope, and I think will work. Math does not continue from max. What do you mean, math? It's yeah, it's C#, everything capitals. So if I would take my triangle now, of course, it's a bit of a side effect. I jump beyond the point, so I don't actually color it. That's the only problem. Then like what I can do is if highlighted else fill, then I'm gonna really split it up. So in this case, fill the inside of the shape. Fill the edge of the shape. Well, sounds really called filling, but it's yeah. You get the point. So now normally if I would do this again, it will actually make the shape smaller, and then actually interesting. I don't understand where fill shape. You would assume that the fill shape actually does just this. I mean, I'm asking you to fill the shape. Who clears it? Oh, then no, that's right. Then I have to see where the filling of the shape actually gets called. Clear all highlight here. I mean, this will also be not, but like what? Fill highlight, something like that. Fill shape, fill highlight, clear all highlight. So again, if I do my triangle, then you will see that the resulting triangle is inside. Oh, that's funky. Oh, funky, 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 funky. Maybe indeed I should do an extra check. Oh, it's so annoying that it doesn't work. Can't click. Maybe I should do indeed do an extra check. Just say else if in shape. Maybe that's an important check, you know. That might be an important check. This I also need to clean up because this actually is way too deeply nested. This is ugly. Ugly like hell. The name fill highlight is not okay. Of course, it doesn't exist. It's because I didn't implement it yet. Private void fill highlight, and this one method does nothing. Are you happy now? Ah yes, of course. I write my methods the C# way, which apparently is like this. But I will not bother you guys with installing formatter and those kind of things because that is actually really, really boring. Making sure everything works, it's a very tedious job. You don't want to see that on a stream. Ta-da! So it fills exactly the inside. And now I just have to do the highlight, which is again, that's a bit of a stupid. It's another pass over all points. That's a bit stupid. The problem is I do continue here because I want to skip those points. You know what I can do? Actually, no. This is indeed really stupid. I can do it in one go. I can do it in one go. If I light it or in shape, that's what it was, I guess. And then shape, I need to go to the one above it. This is also a very interesting feature. I mean, like normally it would show me where bit names and stuff, but I think it kind of fails because it can't figure out. Or well, maybe it's it's for it's for thingy matching, bracket matching. Okay, it's a very interesting feature. Typically, I'm used to seeing method names and those kind of things up there. But I guess in C# it makes in C++ it makes more sense to do this. So why am I saying I can do it in one go is because well here I know the only cases where I actually jump out of it and it actually matters are these ones. And in these cases, this should be else Actually, no, it doesn't have to be an else. It can be a regular if. Then this actually should be on this line. But I'm gonna make an else if out of it. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. But whatever. So what I can, for instance, do is I can say here int next x equals this, and I can say here fill. I'm actually not sure if I can fill a line. Do I have something like that to fill a whole line? Fill start end. That's not even implemented. So I don't think so. Because that would also get line positions. Where would get line positions come from? That's for really a line, okay. Which actually would work. Get line positions. Here's my get line positions again. Get on, we're gonna start int. This just returns yeah, but doesn't include the start point, but does include the end point. That's a bit annoying. That's probably why I didn't use it. And that's because it was already highlighted. But in this case, of course, I want to. So probably what I want to do is I want to say here, okay, fill, and then I say fill line. I am going to remove this because we now know that this is all bad code. This is also bad code. And then I have to really clean up my script. So what do we do here? We definitely fill well, indeed this actually would be previous x. I fill my current point int next x. This actually is an important thing because my get line positions might not work if it's in the opposite direction. Where's my get line positions? Get line positions. Delta x, delta y, end minus starts. Steps, yeah, no, well, actually, if it's negative, it can work as well. So maybe it doesn't matter, but it will not include a start point, but it will include the end point. So there could still be some issues if I do this in the wrong direction. If I always make sure that my pos is my beginning, and then I say, but I don't know which one is my end. Again, this is really stupid because actually this fill positions, this will not even work because this one takes a vector 2 int as it should, but this one returns a vector 3 int. My get line positions, so I really have to rewrite all of this because my get line positions will also just return should just work with vector 2 ints. everything should just work with vector 2 ints. And then only when you actually go to fill and go do things, I should take a vector 3 int or make a vector 3 int out of it. Okay, but so this should technically work if I do a position and I do a new vector 3 int of next x, y, and z layer fill, I guess. My position is in the z layer fill, so yes. If I do the exact same here, but this next x is previous x, because it won't fill this position. And so see, this would definitely be better if I could extract this somehow, but because this is actually exactly the same I'm doing here, these two, so I have to, yeah. The continue is going to make it difficult though. The name highlighted does not exist in current context. Name previous x does not exist. Of course not, because here it's next x. So this one is fixed. The name highlighted does not exist in current context. Where is this? No, it does. Yes, so this is problematic because this one will become what's just like vector 2 int. Oh, wait, did I write highlighted wrong again? Highlighted. Highlighted. Okay, then can you also just play, please? Triangle, triangle, triangle. And so why is this still doing this? Ha! Yes, okay, my bad. And after all of this, of course, I have to say x equals next x and x equals previous x and x equals next x. So this is the this is the point. So the only thing that actually difference is the way to get this next point based on the y direction. Well, you have to check your point and you have to do all those kind of things, but this is the only thing that matters, or the only thing that differs. These two lines is exactly the same. This line is, well, just depends on this variable, so that's also kind of the same on this value. So I mean, like, all of this is exactly the same and should be much better if I was able to get it out of it. The continue does not make it that easy, but it will work. Oh yeah. So finally, after many sessions, we have a fill algorithm that actually works. You can't imagine how happy I am to finally have this working. It's unbelievable. Really, really, really unbelievable. So that's good. But the next thing I'm going to do is I'm definitely going to clean up this script because it's nasty. Really, really nasty. It's way too long. So what do I want to do? I want to change to use 2D ints if possible. I'm going to change this to use vector 2 ints if possible. I mean, like, of course, here, this is all fine because this is where I'm putting the tile map stuff, but it's really where I assign it to the points when I do the hover position. I mean, like, that should all just be vector 2 points. So I have to change all my methods to also just do vector2 points. I'm probably gonna extract certain functions. I mean, this is okay. I know this is rendering grids, but most of this is actually more like line mathematics. And what I really would want to see is that I have a much easier one. So I have the start. Preferably even this, if I can, but then I'm gonna have to see how I do that with lambdas. Let's see, because what I actually want to do is I want to, for instance, do something for each tile, and then I would say x, y, and then here I have my something like this for each tile x, y, and then I would be able to put this in there. Okay. For each tile, and that would be a in Java it would be like a by consumer, but I don't know how it is in C sharp. C sharp lambda. Okay, so apparently C sharp also uses the double ones, not the single ones. So that's one thing I have to fix. And then I have to see what C sharp by consumer. Does it exist? I'm not sure if this is C sharp. This might just be Java. I'm looking at right now. Public class. This, yeah, sounds. Okay. Anyway, and then so that's the idea, and then here I would just do this, and then here I would do function dot accepts xy. Of course, this is nice for this kind of things. I'm not sure how much it would really help in my overall method, because I don't think I actually loop over it that often. I mean, like, yes, in here I also loop over it. The problem is I have to keep track of it. So yeah, it seems like it's only really relevant for one method, which is probably not worth the effort to do. Then I might actually split them up. Would that make sense if I split them up? Because then here, for instance, I could also say for each column, I guess. Y is column for each column. Y, if Y equals, no, for each row, I think it is. For each row, Y, because this is X, this is Y, so the same Y is a, if Y, then it's a row for each row, and then here I can say like Boolean in shape equals false, and I say for each column X, and then I can put my logic in there. Is that going to help a lot? No, definitely not, because as you can see, I'm already at the same level of indentation. So I might not do it. The only advantage I would be then I have this for loop, which gets a bit of extracted. But we don't really do it that much. Next, matter of fact, it's only in 2 parts. And as I said, this one might even be improved later on if performance becomes an issue to actually have, to just really work on min y, max y, and even maybe min x and max x, so I only look at the actual contours or the outer bound of the shape, like a square box around it, and only look at those values. That's definitely something, and then I don't have to deal with this either, then I first have to look at it. But so this method is definitely way too long. The class is way too long, 400 lines, it's too long. So I have to do it. This, for instance, something definitely I have to keep in here. But again, I mean, this is also very, very long. This is initialization. That's still okay, I guess. Tile map, set tile flex, set color. Although I feel like with the set tile and the set tile flex, I think we do that quite often as well. Okay, but we don't always. Okay, clear highlights. Well, we do that 3 points with the set color as well. How does the fill actually work then? If my fill does not do a tile map, I just does a tile map set color. Because it will already be initialized, yes. That's what happens here. I say in the beginning, set tile flex, set color. Okay. Because this set tile is at the layer border, at the layer fill. Here, the position, this is the layer fill. Okay. And the highlight, and the highlighting is one of those things. I'm not sure if I would improve this. This, of course, the colors, that's just temporary. This is just loading data. Border, indeed, I don't really need for anything else as soon as it's set. Once it's set, I'm just thinking I may want to, the initialization might be okay. The update, this is definitely too long. This is something I would want to split up. But I don't really know yet how because of all the returns. If points.counts equals 0, return. These are actually very interesting. These are very good methods. I like these. Is a valid line. It's also a very nice method. But so for instance, this one actually, the valid line doesn't depend on anything inside the render grid. It doesn't depend on the, this is a completely, this could even be a static method, I guess. I'm not sure if C# has static methods. But so because it can be a static method, actually is a sign that it, well, it can belong here, but it doesn't really belong here. Or it shouldn't necessarily belong there in the valid line. Valid point, you would say, is kind of the same, but actually it's not true because it depends on the valid tile position, which does depend on the tile map. So this one does need to be here, valid line, and crosses other lines. This one, I would assume, also kind of depends on the tile map. Well, no, not if there is no other segment yet. If Okay, how does this actually work? Start, end, it should... here, you see, it depends on the points. Points is also one that... but for instance, the on segment, orientation, I mean, like those kind of things, those actually... These are things that can be extracted. And I'm thinking... What else? These are also special cases which might be extracted. I mean, because these all return true. But again, it requires checks on segment. So I mean, like this could start and line start in under special cases. So like you could say like if is special case, existing segment and new segment are on the same line, check for overlaps. I know I just copy pasted this algorithm, I don't really remember so much. That's the orientation of lines. That's really difficult to understand. Yeah, maybe I'm just gonna leave the script as is. Get line positions. So for instance, this as well. Get line positions. What do you mean? I mean, like you just give a start, you give an end, and you just basically calculate all the x and y, or all the points in between. This does not depend on anything inside of here. This can be easily be extracted. And then the only thing that actually in the render grid should be is like highlighting, clearing of the highlighting, checking whether you are allowed to do something or not. For instance, crosses other lines. I mean, like that's really important because that's you really need to know on this line data. But I mean, like those helpers of like, okay, give me the line points. Clear highlight makes sense. Clear highlight makes sense. That's also a clear highlight. How many clear highlights do I have? Clear all highlight. Okay. The filling of the shape, that's also a difficult one, but this definitely should also be a bit cleaned up. Especially because of this. It's annoying that I have to go so deep. Problems I need it in shape, so I can't pull all of this out. The vector2 int is definitely problematic. Here as well, the fill. Actually, this one should not take a vector3 int, but it should take a vector2 int. The problem is that the getLine positions takes a vector3 int. So I think moving it to vector2 int will definitely improve code. If I can take this one out. Problem is that to continue, I'm going to do continue. And I need the x. So this is also not going to be that easy to pull out. I'm also looking to see, can I do something with inversion to make it a bit cleaner? You know, do if highlighted, what if I would say if it's not highlighted, but then If this part, I mean, if I know it's not highlighted, then what? What can I do? Like if it's not highlighted, okay, I don't have to do anything, but I still have to check whether it's inside the shape. So, and you definitely want to check the highlighted part first. The annoying thing is really that we're already too deep with just the 4 here. So I would really want to pull some stuff out, but okay, I guess there is not really much we can do to improve it. Annoying. I mean, this is also just really stupid. Why is this a vector 3 int? I'm pretty sure if I just change this, not much will change. Clear all highlight. Well, here, of course, I will have a problem because it's points. Okay, I will do this off camera, see if I can find something. But anyway, we have a working okay, Git marks a lot of things as problematic. Okay, I will do that off camera, see if we can clean it up a bit. This I did change name and stuff of the scene because I was a bit confused. I thought I lost the scene, but apparently not. It's just it was called sample scene, which is really bad. So my previous apparently was a temporary commit, which was okay. So implement working crossing algorithm. Oh really? Oh really? What the hell? Attempted better crossing algorithm. Okay, this is actually actual working fill algorithm. I can't wait. I have to amend commit amend, and then I say git push force. Et voila. So that's it. So then what's gonna happen? I'm gonna offline see if I can convert those vector3 ints to a vector2 int, which makes more sense. See if I can maybe make a few extractions. Might not be that easy, but yeah, I'll see if I can do something. Maybe move certain things to a script. That would really be nice. For instance, get line positions. I can move this to a script. No, none of this can actually work, but actually I could improve this with very difficult ors, if this or this or this or this, but I don't really want to do this because I don't know, this one seems to make more sense or be clearer to me. So this I cannot cross the lines. I cannot do on segment. I can also not do. I think. Well, actually, I can do this, but it doesn't make sense. Is a valid line? I can, but it kind of makes sense to keep it in the script. So I think I'm just gonna keep everything in the script. Change the painting mechanism. Click on pixels to create a shape. Note only horizontal, vertical, and diagonal lines are allowed. Yes, that's done. Close the shape and paint it by clicking on the start pixel. That's also done. Single pixel painting is not possible and simply clears it. You can only remove the last point by clicking on it. No crossing lines are allowed. Okay, so this is an interesting comment. I'm not sure why it says change because it's already done. So I think it's a bit of an old comment. I think I'm going to remove the comments. So what do I want to do? This I can also remove then apparently. So the only thing I'm gonna see if I can do is convert really this to a vector2 int. If I can convert the points to a vector2 int, the hover position to a vector2 int, because I mean, like, I think my highlight, it always creates a new position. My fill creates a new position. So I don't think there should be any reason. See, I mean, like, it always creates an exact new position with the correct Z indexed layer. The fill does the exact same thing. I mean, the fill here already takes a vector2 int. So I mean, a vector2 int just kind of makes more sense, and it might clean up my code a bit. I mean, for instance, here as well. I mean, like this doesn't really make much sense that I have to tell you the layer if you're not going to use it. So that's the only thing I'm going to see off camera, see if that one is going to work. And after that, next week or next time, not necessarily rejected. How come? Hit, commit, min, amend, min, no edit, hit, push, force. Because I didn't amend. So next, what we're going to do next time. So after we've done this, actually, one of the things I was thinking as well is I probably want to limit the amount of points you can actually put, because now, I mean, like I can do a very, very, very detailed line shape, and I can basically make whatever shape I want, which is probably too detailed. Oh, I still discovered a bug. Interesting. Because we cross this edge, so it says, we're inside. Aha, okay, so it's not over yet. It's not over yet. So I'm gonna go for a simplistic case. So a simplistic case would be I have this, I have this, I have this, I have here. Yes. Why is that the case? Because we cross this one, we say, okay, so we're inside the shape. Then I come here, I cross this point, and I say like, well, I'm part of a horizontal one, so I'm gonna skip here, and I'm not gonna update, which kind of makes sense. That's because you actually were inside, but because of this, you're now outside of the shape. Okay, wait, let's see like if you can figure out why this is. So it has something to do with here, the skipping, and then we don't flip the shape. And that makes sense because normally if you select, well, we're inside the shape, and we skip here, and we say, okay, now we're outside of the shape again. Well, no, not necessarily. Then we're going to see what happens. And this one says we're in the same direction. We're in the same direction. So we should have flipped. Okay, okay. The thing is, we probably didn't jump to this point. We jumped to this point. Okay, but this might be problematic because then my current y direction will be null because this is current y direction, and then it'll say like, oh well, okay, so my previous x, I'm gonna jump to my previous x minus 1. I'm gonna be in an infinite loop forever. Current y direction. No, it won't be my current y direction. It will be my current y direction. I actually always also have to check. This is going to be fun. This is going to be an infinite loop. I'm not sure what Unity is going to do if you enter an infinite loop. My computer might also not like it. Oh no, he definitely does not like it. How do you jump out of it? You can't. You can't jump out of it? I should not even have tried. I knew it was going to be an infinite loop. Why do I even try? Unity, did you not foresee that this could happen? People writing bad scripts? No? God damn it. this is annoying. So anyway, what's the solution? You have to do math.max of x and x here as well. Math.max. I'm pretty sure I said that at some point. But I have to do this. Because in this case, this point, it would have been this point, which is x, and then of course, yeah, okay, you say previous x, well, you would say x minus 1, so for instance, if this is 4, you would say here, and you would go back there. That's also not good. That would also not work. But if you want to jump to this point 4, then you have to go here, because then the next one will be there. That's because of the extra plus plus. But if this is u, then you don't want to do it. So actually, I don't want to do a math max. I just, in this case, it can't happen because you have 2 points, one behind you, one next to you. So I mean, like, you should always jump one further. You can't jump to yourself. It's impossible. It also can't be that you jump always to the previous one because the other one should be further. So this one is safe. It's just really that this one is not safe. So here, actually, I should say math.max of x and next x minus 1. Actually, but that's also not going to be, so actually I have to do a max of x and actually, no, that's also not the case. Because if I do that, then I'm going to screw up my filling. Because I have to fill from my position to the next, my current position to the next one. Then I have to jump to where? Not to the next point. Yeah, okay, I have to really close Unity. Oh, this is going to be annoying. Oh, I have to kill it. I have to kill it with fire. I might have to do a real hard kill. Okay. Monitor, system monitor. Unity, you're using all of my CPU. Actually, no, you're fine. But I'm gonna end you. Okay, which process did I just kill? I'm pretty sure I killed a Unity process. Aha, okay. Unity is gone. Good. Let me quickly start it up again. Please. Please, Unity. So what do I have to do? So I fill the line, and then I have to determine where I'm going to jump to. Well, and the next direction isn't always in the future or in the okay, now I'm starting. So the next point, I mean, because it's the order in which you've created it. In that sense, it's the next point. It's not the next point in the sense as in like, oh, it's always further. Same for the previous one. So the idea was initially, okay, you just jump to the previous or the next point because I mean that will be further away. The previous point, will the previous point be always further away? Yes, it has to be. I mean, the idea was that it has to always be further. Otherwise, you would already have counted in the past and you would have jumped to this point instead. So the problem is now that because you jump beyond your next point, or you jump to your next point and then the next time you iterate it, you go to the next point and you don't evaluate anymore. Did I flip? Did I not flip? Actually, you will never flip. That's the whole point because you will have a previous y direction of 0, so you will not flip. You still have to determine whether you want to flip or not. Oh damn, that's actually quite annoying. Okay, okay, I can't do this. I can't do this because if I do this, then I'm gonna fuck myself again. I thought I didn't need it to calculate whether I had to flip it or not. But of course, I'm wrong. I mean, this is really weird because normally you should always be further than where you are. It's always the case. The problem now is that, oh, I hope I didn't not. No, I don't think I was doing max, so I don't think I can create an infinite loop. I think by doing this, I avoid creating an infinite loop. I don't think this will work because I don't have the direction figured out. I don't know whether I have to flip or not. And that's an interesting part, which I will again show you. You have this section. So this is what was causing us problems. It's causing us problems. It doesn't have to actually be straight next to it. You can also shape like this with a gap. And that one makes it maybe a bit more clearer. Is that, I mean, like here you're inside of the shape, and here, well, here you're not outside of the shape yet. It's here you go outside of the shape. But because we skip to this point, and we say like, oh, you know, we're not going to do anything. I don't care. We're going to skip to this point, and then I'm like, ah, okay, because I see here, like, oh, well, I'm actually part of a horizontal line. I'm going to skip to this point, and then I'm going to continue from here on. And I didn't change anything about inside or outside of the shape. I never change anything because that's what the continue is for. I was like, just continue. I don't care. And the idea was that at this point, I would check, well, either at this point or at this point. I have to decide at either one of these points whether I flip my bit or not. And that's what I don't do. In order, however, to know whether you have to flip, you have to jump, and you have to look at the previous monoticity and the next monoticity. So what I actually have to do is I do have to look for the first non-straight edge, which I was doing before. I'm pretty sure, but the do while current y direction equals of 0. And then here my previous is also not necessarily like this. I just say previous of pref index equals index, pref index equals points dot count minus 1 over pref index k. Yes. And this is not, this is also pref index. Okay, so now I get my current direction. For instance, if I'm on a very long path, so like I first encounter a point, and I look at my previous, and I say, oh, well, actually this one, for instance, here in this case, this point, you would say this, if I would have gone the other way around, this would have been my previous y. So I look at the previous one and say, ah, actually this is the previous point, and that's down. And then here I'm at the point up. And that's what I'm gonna looking for. So next, doing the exact same thing. So maybe I should call this also pref yi. Makes it a bit more clear that they actually belong together. Just copy paste all of this. And then I have to update all this. Wait. What do I do? Next, I also noticed that for some reason my Visual Studio Code is not showing anymore. How come? Okay. Should be fixed now. Yeah. I think that might have been because I accidentally pressed the F. I don't know how long it's already gone. But I hope not for too long. Because that would have been a pretty boring site. So here, okay, as well, next Y direction. So now, if I'm at the point, I know I have this direction and I have this direction. So again, I can do the same comparison as before. The problem, of course, is I don't know where to jump to now. So this logic, this I can remove. This logic I have to put somewhere as well. I have to say here, next x equals x. And so here I have to probably do an extra check as well. If I say, well, ref y direction equals 0, then that was really okay. If previous y direction equals 0, I'm always going back, going back. Then I say next x equals math.max of next x and this point. And I do the same here. If previous x, next x, if next y direction equals 0, then mathmax becomes next x becomes mathmax next x, this point. Yes. So now I know I can say if next x is not x, so then I know I have to jump. Then what do I have to do? I have to fill my current position. I have to fill the line y I already have fill line, and I have to update x. And I don't have to do the -1 because I will flip it based on this. Of course, I don't have a formatter installed. So this should theoretically, hopefully now work, and then I have to recompile error. Here probably. Current y direction does not exist in current contexts. Where? How can you not have current y direction? Because the current I've renamed to previous, yes. Now you will work. Work. So let's try again the same shape. You have this one, you have a small gap, you can go up in. And I've completely ruined everything. How is this possible? Because I come here and I say I'm outside of the shape, I jump here, and then I say, well, it has changed, so I'm inside the shape now. Really? How is that possible? How is this? This is negative, this is positive. That should be negative. It should not flip it. Is it because it does it twice? Because it jumps to this point? Hmm. X plus y plus previous y direction, x y direction. I'm gonna see what it finds as a, and I'm gonna take a very simple square. Because I assume that then a simple square will also fail now. Yes. So it has -2, -3, which I assume will be this point, and it says -3, -3. Which direction did I make my points? I already forgot. Let me do it again. I think I went down. Yes, I went down. Here I went up. So this is indeed -3, but this should be +3. I think it is because of the way I do it. Because I take my direction. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. The previous direction, oh, one of them two is inverted, and I assume is the next one then. Is it not? Because the next I go from, this is the next minus y. So like this it should be. Oh, that's probably because of my copy paste mistake. Oh, that's so stupid. I can probably even see it if I go look at this one here. I can see where I deleted it. This is my deleted code. Next y direction. See, look, this is the. Damn. Can I not? This was the original one I wrote. This one is correct. The next is, yeah, okay. That's fixed now. I put the same logic in there. I'm sorry. Can be stupid at times. So the direction was indeed inverse. So normally now if I make a square shape, it should be fine. Yes. Okay. So now if I make our fancy schmancy shape, which was previously having issues, it should hopefully work. Yes, this works. And then, and why is that important that we actually do it? Because you can also have the opposite. Whereas in the past, I've always done this, gone here, here, and then I went up. You can also go down, of course. And then this is inside the shape. So that's why this actually is important. So I'm pretty confident now that this actually is a real working one, a real working shaping mechanism. And so what I actually wanted to say towards the end of our stream here is that I'm probably going to limit how many points you can put because this is not very fun. This is too detailed, too precise, and I'm probably going to limit it to like 5 or 6 points or something. Maybe 6 because hexagons are the bestagons. Oh, I'm pretty sure I made my hexagon too big. So I mean, like, so you can make a shape like this because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, well, 8 points. How come I need 8 points to make a hexagon? Because I have 6 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is an octagon, not a hexagon. Can I even make a hexagon with my current rules? How would you make a hexagon? It's like this, no? You go sideways, horizontal, sideways, 1, 2, 3, and then you have to go up again. But I've made it in a very nasty way. Because this it's because this is 4 and this is 4, but of course 4 crossway is not the same as 4 horizontal, so technically this is this, I think that's a hexagon, no? Hexagon should have 6. Okay, it's the other way around apparently. So, oh my god, it's really been a while since I've done geometry apparently. So hexagon is more like this: 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. That would be a hexagon. My hexagon was tilted a bit. I mean, technically it's still a hexagon. The reason why this looks way off is because of the angles. A hexagon doesn't have angles of 45 degrees for the simple reason that all angles have to be the same. And this angle is, well, this is definitely not a 90. This is more than 90 degrees, and this is shorter than 90 degrees. And so all angles have to be the same. And so you can't really do it with my logic because you have only 45 degrees. So in my application, or in my with my rules, you can actually only make octagons, I guess, which are this shape. That's an octagon. So I guess octagons are the moctagons, the octagons, the octagons. I don't know. So maybe I want to limit it to like 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. Well, 8 points. This is 8 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 points. Maybe 8 points makes sense. I mean, you can make pretty fancy shapes with 8 points. I will still have to experiment with this to see how much, but I definitely want to avoid people to just being able to make the exact shape you actually need. For instance, if you can make like if you can make your whole Pacman shape out of the box. I mean, like this wouldn't be a very interesting puzzle if you can just make exactly what you have to make. I mean, yeah, if you can immediately fill everything in, then what's the point? This, of course, would have been a very, very ugly thingy and a very ugly Pacman. But that's not the point. So, I mean, like, if you can really, like, fine-tune every point, I mean, like, you can, yeah, I want to color this, I want to color this. I mean, this is basically already a pixel painting now, really, but really pixel painting. I mean, I just have to find a path, a consecutive path. Oh, I can't go back yet. Oh, I still have to implement that apparently and undo because now I'm stuck. Okay, interesting. So that's I'm first going to commit this. Hey, mono crash man memory. I don't care about the crash because I kind of triggered the crash. So again, events no edits push F. So apparently, if not is valid, if point is valid point. If points.count equals 0, has a valid point. If it's valid point, clear all highlight because it's not a valid point. Ah, that's how you can currently erase it, but that's probably. Is this what I want? That I just say I have to click there. That's one way to clear it, but it's a bit annoying that you say like, I misclick. Can I not undo it? Well, maybe that's also. I mean, it would be nice if I can just undo it and then like, I went too far. Oh, damn. But then again, maybe it allows people to think too much. Maybe it should if points dot last. Do they have a pop? C# list. Is there an interesting method to remove the last one? Is there a pop method? There is no pop method. Is it remove clear, remove. I can do remove cell post like this. I mean, like, I know it's the last one. Is it actually a last method? I just assumed there was one. There doesn't seem to be a last one. I have to do. There is a last method. Point is not last. I do it here. So this is perfectly fine. Now, how come I can't find it here in my documentation? Weird, and I can't find remove. How can I not find remove? Wait. Keep forgetting. The only last I can find here is last index off, last index off, last index off, and then it's like last with like an enumerable source and whatever, and like weird methods which come from God knows where. So I don't see where the last comes from, because this is a regular list from C#. Yeah, I don't understand. That's interesting. So if I click, sequence contains no elements. Ah, yes, of course. That's the generic. I think actually because I don't use. Oh, isn't this? Oh, what the hell? I think because I'm using the system link. What the hell is system link? Do I want to use that one? It's for queries. Yeah, no, I don't think I want to use that one. I think I want to use using system list. That one. System collections generic. Okay, so I definitely want. I already have it imported. The problem is that now my last will not work. See, my last does not work. So I should do points.count -1. The problem is that if points.count, if there's no points, then there's a contains, there's an exists, find last for each, get the enumerate, get range, insert, remove all, remove at, reverse, slice, sort to array. Points.count larger than 0, NN. Is a valid point if hover position has value. Is a valid point clear highlights. What the hell is this even doing? Okay, I see. Although I don't see. What the hell am I doing here? Why am I clearing the highlight? Hover position has value and is a valid position. So I click somewhere and it's a valid position, then I clear my hover. But why do I clear the highlight? And then I say, if it's a valid position, then I highlight it again. I'm so confused by my own code. The annoying thing is that losing the last method is really, really, really a bad. It's really annoying. Uh, um, honestly, I don't know what I'm doing. Hover position. Do we even have a hover position? Yeah, of course I can't see it now. Last. That's so annoying because here points at last I also can't do. Is a valid point. And what if this actually is not even? I mean, like, what if there would be no last? How would that even work? I just take last here, but what if last returns? What would last return? Undefined? Null? Would he just throw an exception? Is a valid point and is my hover position a valid point? Okay, now I'll just take if points.count equals true. I guess so. So then I know it's always what I can do here. Points.count -1. Okay. Where else is last used? Just here in these sections. So then I'm gonna do be smart. Well, let's be smart here. If points.count equals 0, highlight cell position, points.add cell position, return if, then I don't need to do this, and I can just say points, points remove. If points.count equals, okay. That's in case you didn't. This seems to be all from, yeah, no, I know where this is from. Okay, so this doesn't need to be last, it can be points.count -1. Points.count -1. So this should now work. I think the idea was that, especially with the firsts, okay, first also doesn't exist. Just take 0. Same here. I would assume that I already did a check in the places where I call them. I hope so. Don't know where else I removed the first point here. This first. Pom pom pom. I already know that there has to be 1. Yes, okay, that's good. So it was a clicking. I think the idea was that I can, instead of just click, I can actually drag and hold. But that's a bit weird. So this is my hover position. I'm not sure why the some of the logic is here. Like if points equals 0, then of course I don't have to highlight the line. That's probably to highlight the line. But I'm just assuming that it's there. So if I click here again, then it still doesn't work. Debug.log points dot count -1 plus cell pos. Probably because this is, well, no, I'm not sure. Maybe the Z index is wrong. That would be so annoying. Click, click, click. Uh-huh. It probably does remove the point, but doesn't clear the highlight. And I should also return here, of course, and not go continue. And I have to say clear highlight cell pos. Actually, it's not just cell pos. I have to clear the highlight of everything. I have to clear the highlight from this position all the way up to the previous line. I have to clear highlight not of cell pos, but of, well, cell pos basically the same as points, this one. N minus 2, if there actually is one. Can you remove your and clear highlight? Does that include the first one or not? Clear highlight. Don't clear the starting point. Voila, it doesn't clear the starting point. Okay, so actually now I'm thinking I want to clear this point, but if I then, yeah, okay, yeah, no, I know, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do it in 2 steps. Clear highlight of cell position, and I say if points dot count is larger than 0 because we already removed it, then I'm gonna remove at the end. Larger than 1. So if you have more than 1 point, I will clear the highlight from -2 up until -1. Maybe I should just do cell pos. I know it's the same, so clear highlight cell pos. My debug statement is gone. No, it's my debug statement. Okay. So let's see whether this works now. I might still change my mind about everything. The code is not really readable because of all the points and how it's being done. If I click here, I click here, I click here, then that's gone, and I continue from here, 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 here. Ugh, mistake again. To go there, there. Okay, so I can now always clear my mistakes. Okay. Do I still have some debug anywhere? Nope. I still don't know why some of this logic is here. If your hover position has a value, okay, but I don't understand. Do we even keep track? We do keep track of the hover position, but I don't know why. Ah, yes, I do know why. That's because, yeah, and that's something I might remove because since it's a mobile game, I mean, it doesn't matter too much. You can't really hover, but that's to show this. And that's why actually I think I wanted to go more to a system where you, well, you don't show this line, but maybe you press and then you move it to see which line it's going to give. So you would have more press and then you have to hold, 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 hold. And then here, okay, well, here's good, let's go. But yeah, okay, this is good for now. So I'm going to commit this one as well, which is, okay. So what is this one? What did we do in this commit? We did I just see that actually my description Twitch is wrong. We did allow clicking on last point to remove it and hit push. Okay, and this stream has been going on for much longer than I would normally do. But it was fun. We definitely made some progress. I like it. So next time I'm gonna see if I can clean this up a bit with vector 2 ints and those kind of things. Definitely, I should also see. I'm also interested to actually know how testing something like this would work. I don't know anything about C# testing, so I'm probably not gonna dive into that because I don't think it's worth it. At least not for now. So next thing is I actually want to have like the colors down here, so you can select which color you're actually painting with, because now our color is always yellow, and I want to have some options for colors. So that's the first thing I want to do. I want to have some colors down here. Maybe also add some background. I don't know. Doesn't have to be a fancy schmancy background, just a basic something to fill up the color a bit. So that's one. So just have some colors down here, 3 or 4. I think 4 will always be the maximum of colors I want to allow in any picture. Otherwise, it would be a bit too busy. Currently, the colors we have is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the borders are 6 colors. I think 4 would be the maximum. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe I can squeeze in a 5th color. Maybe I can do 5 colors. So I want to have some options. Can be very basic, just a circle or something, where you click on it, and then that's the color you choose, and then you color with it. You click on the next one or another one, and that's the color you always take. So that's for next time. Then probably also want to keep track of a certain amount of moves you have to color it, and if you run out of moves, you're dead. Well, you're dead. You lose the level. And I guess I should also come up with a system to actually see if you've correctly filled in everything. That's another thing I should do as well. But next time, first colors, making sure that works, and we'll see how long that takes, and we go from there. So I hope to see you all next time. Bye.